What's up, beautiful people of the internet? So this is like the first time in a couple of years I've actually talked in front of a camera or explained anything I'm doing in a video. But me and the owner of Edgewater Surf, Jeff McNaught, we are going to have a shape off. So I'm going to start off with one of these Clark blanks that I bought from him. And he is also going to start off with a Clark blank. They're both in the 10-foot range. We were both going to shape longboards to our own designs. So I'm going to give you a rundown of what mine is, then I'm going to cut to what Jeff wants to do with his. So let's get to it. All right, so here's the blank I will be shaping. It is a Clark Foam First Quality Super Green. I believe this formula of this kind of foam was discontinued in the 1970s. I'm not entirely sure on that, but from what I could find on the internet, that is the truth about this. The length of this board, like I stated before, is 10 feet 2 inches. The entirety of the width of this blank is 25 inches, but I'm going to narrow that down to 23 inches. And the thickness of this is just under 4 inches thick. I'm going to narrow that down to 3 inches thick. So I'm really excited to see how this will go. But this is the bottom of the blank. There's another little look at the Clark signature there, or stamp. I really wish I didn't have to shave this off, but I don't see any other way. We might make a stencil out of that because of how rare these blanks are in this day and age, because Clark is no longer in manufacturing anymore. And as far as I know, the man destroyed his formulas when he closed up shop. Don't quote me on that, but that is from what I've read on the internet. So let's get to it. So here's the outline of what this will be on the blank. So like I said, I'm keeping the length, but I'm narrowing the width and the thickness down. I also, instead of just keeping the rounded nose, I'm going to make it more of a point. Not too much of a point, but I do want to be able to cross step and nose ride on this board. So I'm going to keep that as a, keep that in mind while I'm shaping. This will be a single fin. I'm not adding anything crazy. I just want it to be a single fin that I can, put any kind of single fin on it, like anywhere from a D fin, which would be really cool if I really just want to have a lazy day, or a performance fin where I can do a little bit of turns on bigger days on Lake Erie. Now keep this in mind, I'm shaping this mainly for Lake Erie because that is where I currently live. I will take this to the ocean eventually if I ever get the chance. Believe me, I just need a roof rack. I've been reluctant to buy one yet, but I think this might be the time to do it now. All right, sorry if that looked a little bit rough. I'm not the greatest when it comes to time lapses. I'm still trying to figure them out, but here's what the outline of the board now looks like. So I got my outline. I tried to leave about 1/8 of an inch away from the line so that way it sands in pretty good, but now I just got to sand up to the line, straighten that out. As you can see, I had a little bit of issue with the saw because I was hand cutting it. I'm a little bit nervous to use a jigsaw on this, just because of how old this is, and I'm mainly used to doing everything by like hand. So it's coming, but I didn't use a jigsaw because I was too afraid it was gonna ruin the foam, but cutting through this foam is actually pretty dense. Like even this just feels like a traction pad as it is. So yeah, now I gotta sand out the edges, and I will try and do a time lapse of that. And then once I'm done with that, we'll cut over to Jeff's board. Okay, so that took a lot longer than I anticipated. Kind of screwed up the other side here just a little bit with the saw, but that'll all get planed out anyway. As you can see, that was just a little mishap on my end because I wasn't sawing straight down, I was sawing at an angle, but this will get planed off anyway. But overall, I am super stoked on how this shape came out. So now we will either cut over to Jeff's board, which will be up shortly, or I will take the planer and start planing the underside of this to start thinning it out. So we are here with Jeff McNaught and his 10-1 Clark blank. Now, what kind of Clark foam do you have? Because I have the super green light, I believe I have. What do you have?
I have I think it's the 10-1Y.
So he's got the classic foam formula.
Which, from our research the other day, it sounds like this was from sometime between 68 and 71. 1968 to 1971, I should say, in the last century. So that was the time period that it was determined that the classic would have been from. So this thing is old.
For sure.
So it's gonna look like an old classic board. The blank is 25 inches wide by, it was 10-2. It's gonna end up in 10 to 10-1 by 23 by 3 1/8.
All right.
Which will yield about 83 liters. And it's gonna be a big boy.
Okay, so what kind of waves are you intending for this board? Are they going to be beginner, advanced, all around?
Mushy, disgusting lake waves.
Like I stated before, guys, like the boards we're shaping are mainly for Lake Erie. You can use them in the ocean, but like we're going towards what's our local breaks. And most of the waves that we surf here in Lake Erie are relatively crumbly, mushy, weak waves. So a little bit longer board and a little bit more meat thickness.
Yes.
That'll be what we're looking for.
This should accommodate my 15-second pop-up very well on these waves anymore. My pop-ups are slower and slower by the minute. So yeah, and I'm going for the fully round piggy nose. Basically the same lines you see here, parallel rails down the line, piggy nose, square back. It's going to be full-on classic.
Awesome.
Out there, so.
Let me take it. Yeah, we have a funny. I think it's kind of wide. It looks sideways, but there's tail end out. Well, we don't stay out. So we just do straight back from here. It looks like it's thicker than my blank, for sure. All right, so I think we're gonna end the video here, guys. That is the outline and shape of Jeff's board. He had to take a call real quick for the shop. But let me know how you think. This is part 1 of this series, and I'm really looking forward to how this is gonna turn out. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.